Boy, I was blabbing on that, wasn't I? Hey everybody, welcome back to the House Spouse channel. Today we're going to change the filter in the heat pump. I don't think I've covered this before. I did do a video on how to get ready for a new heat pump. I'll link that below and up in the corner. But today it's the air filter, and I do it every month religiously. I've been told every 3 months is good. Some people do it every 6 months. Based on my experience, every month. The filters are cheap. It doesn't take very long. It's easy to do. So let's see what we got going on. First of all, for tools, just in my case, I need a Phillips screwdriver. I need a new filter. I have a gallon of hot water. We'll get to that in a minute. And something to use as a funnel. I just took a small water bottle and cut the bottom off. You could use a kitchen funnel if you want, but because the water usually has bleach in it, this works great, and I don't have to worry about it, and I just leave it down here. Anyway, filter. First of all, got to turn the heat pump off. Alright, so when you turn your heat pump off, there's a lot of different ways to do it. You can do it at the circuit breaker. Sometimes the heat pump has a breaker for the outside unit. Sometimes it has one for the inside unit as well. In my case, this heat pump actually has a breaker on the heat pump itself, so I don't have to turn it off, but just because I don't want to shout over it, even though it's really quiet, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. So, off, off. Alright, now that I've turned the heat pump off, let's move stuff out of the way. This one, I've got to take this cover off, slide the filter out, put the new filter in, and put this back on. Now, you may not need a screwdriver. In this case, or in my case, I know normally I don't. These are just on finger tight, but the service tech was here a couple of weeks ago, and I watched him put them on really tight, so I knew I'd need a screwdriver. Alright, so we'll get you a little closer here, and these just come off. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, in case you don't know. Just keep track of everything. Make sure you don't lose anything inside there. And there's our inside. Alright, so here you can see the filter, and if you look, it's actually, the words are upside down, and over here you'll see an arrow, and I'll show you up close on the new one. It says airflow and then an arrow. Well, I know in this particular heat pump the air comes up from the bottom into the blower, so my arrow needs to be up. So it looks weird, but you put it in upside down. Sometimes they go in sideways, and you just pull it out nice and easy. And when you're ready, the new one just slides right back in. Make sure your airflow is going the right way. Now, this is a 20 by 20 by 1. Before you take the old one out, always make sure you know what size you need. Even if that means you just take the cover off and put the cover back on without replacing the filter, just so you can go to the store and get the right size. I've had a lot of different sizes in the past. Almost all of them are very easy to find. Older models are a little bit harder to find. I used to just buy them in the store, but I've since found that I can buy them in bulk from Amazon, and they're pretty darn cheap. And you get 6, 12 at a time, and you're set for the whole year. That way you don't forget about them, and then when you run low, you just order it again. You don't need super expensive filters in my opinion. Obviously everybody has a different opinion. Some filters are super expensive, but seeing as I change mine every month, I figure cheaper is okay. Alright, so the new filter is in there. And here's the back. You'll see on this one there's no little catch there, but on this one there's a little washer there just so it doesn't slide off. Like I said, it's no big deal if it has that or not. I'm sure it's not unique, but if you see that little plastic washer floating around, don't freak out like I did the first time. You know what it's for now. Alright, so coming out of the heat pump is the drain line. So there's a little drip pan in here inside, under the coils. Collects the water that condenses, and it drains downhill into this P-trap. And then around the side you'll see it drains down into a pump. Now, the old pump we had worked great, except the bugs loved it. So here you have your water coming in, your condensation coming in. Here is the water coming out that gets pumped out. And of course it's plugged in. This white box here, that's a leak alarm. So if it doesn't pump out and water comes out, the alarm goes off. That gallon of water that you saw, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump it in here. Typically I mix it with bleach. I highly recommend that you use a little bit of bleach, hot water, and put the water in your container first and then add the bleach. Don't shake it up. Here's what I do. This particular installer had a special piece of equipment here. Basically, if this gets backed up, this plunger raises and there's almost like a dead man switch in here. It kills the pump and also turns off the heat pump. So no more water can be condensed, no more water can drain into the pump because it thinks that you have a leak, which effectively you do if it's not being pumped out and if it's backing up. Now I really like this clear P-trap here, or J-trap, whatever you want to call it. And I also like that it came with this little scrub brush cleaner. So I just take my upside down water bottle, and I'll switch hands so it's a little easier to see, and slowly put it in. And that sound there is the pump. Alright, now as a last little bit of business, make sure you put your lid back on. Everything's closed up, you don't have any leaks. Turn it back on. We have blue and green lights. And that orange one went away. That's really all there is to it. One last thing I'm going to show you is why I change every month. It's up to you. Everybody has an opinion. Do what you want. In my opinion, this is the way to do it. So let me show you why. Here's why I change my filter every month. So this summer I went on vacation. My dad and I went to Arizona. I'll link the video below and up here, where because I was gone, the filter, this one in particular, sat in the heat pump for 2 months. This is the one that I just pulled out. It's only been in there for 1 month. This one is brand new. Now, I've had several technicians tell me the heat pump is like the lungs of your house, and you want to keep your lungs healthy. Brand new, 1 month, 2 months,